Welcome back gamers, to another video. Before we get started, I just want to let you thoughts know my videos are going to be much shorter until you can handle longer ones, losers. JK, it is just easier to make shorter videos. I normally won't say this, but if you like this video, smash that like button and subscribe button. I would like to have more of a following so I know what you like. Okay gamers, let's get it.
You know, when I look back into the past at the works of fiction I was obsessed with, nostalgia floods throughout me, as I both become longingful for the innocence of the past and cringe at my stupidity. Well, I was actually not that cringy, at least compared to some kids surrounding me. I wasn't one of those middle schoolers that posted bad lip-synced Musical.lys. I wasn't the kid that watched Minecraft YouTubers and parodies, and I especially wasn't an emo kid with built-up anger and rage at the world. I was just a typical nerdy kid that was blown away by the concepts of fan involvement in the works of media and fiction. I loved My Little Pony because it made me happy and created a craving to have powerful friendships and crazy adventures like the main character. I was awestruck by anime, a new form of entertainment that I never knew I needed. Anime showed me the power of animation and how animation can be more than a stereotypical cheery Disney movie. However, there is one thing that I was into that is embarrassing yet fascinating to me, even today. It is the Creepypasta Fandom.
Ясно. Нашел саму сущность дьявола.
You might be confused. It's okay. Let's dive into some history behind the fandom and what creepypasta even means. Creepypastas are internet horror stories that are posted online, passed on forums and sites, and are meant to frighten friends and other online users. The name creepypasta comes from copypasta, which it's really supposed to be pronounced like copy-pasta. It started out as an early internet slang for text that was copied and pasted and passed throughout the internet. Creepypastas later started to be developed with pictures, videos, and sometimes read aloud like an audiobook. Earlier forms of creepypastas had a similar and basic format. There are three basic types: scary legends, rituals that were a set of directions to the reader, claiming that if they followed the instructions, something insane and or horrifying was going to happen, and the lost episode format. These stories about proclaimed never-before-seen unreleased episodes of popular shows that had some twisted and corrupted element within them. It seems stupid, but creepypastas took the internet by storm and inspired creators and writers to get interested in the horror field. The most popular creepypasta character is a character that exploded in 2012 and is still very well known today, Slenderman. Though not having a written story of his own, he grew in popularity when a photoshopped black and white image of a tall and twisted man holding a little girl's hand was released into an online contest. Later, several games featuring the lanky creature turned Slenderman into a symbol and a well-known character within the internet and the creepypasta fandom. No one really knows where creepypastas originate from. Well, especially since the first posted story that was spread around was posted anonymously. These stories started out as more realistic forms of fiction, one because the first creepypastas were based on already established urban legends, and 2, there were yet to be any dedicated sites meant for creepypastas. So these creepy stories were scattered in obscure locations. Then, Creepypasta.com was created. Launching in 2008, this site acts as an archive that inspired writers to create sequels and spin-offs of existing stories. Characters that started to be developed, such as the Wreak, Slenderman, and Jeff the Killer, just to name a few examples. The stories evolved into a spectacle that started to be where it wasn't really meant to make the reader believe it was a reality, but to dazzle and scare them with a flashy horror story. Creepypastas became even more mainstream when, it became the culprit of causing 2 girls in 2014, Anessa and Morgan, to stab a fellow 12-year-old girl, their friend Peyton, 19 times in an attempt to impress the fictional character Slenderman. Though Peyton survived, it caused many outsiders to, of course, have a negative outlook on the story and the following behind them.
It is Saturday morning in Waukesha, Wisconsin, just outside Milwaukee, and a horrific scene is playing out. A birthday sleepover with 3 12-year-olds the night before, and now 2 of those girls are missing. The third, Peyton Leitner, has somehow crawled out of the woods covered in stab wounds. 19 of them.
Major search by ground.
These are the woods where the stabbing
Police are still on the scene here tonight.
Morgan Geyser and Anissa Wire were missing, and Anissa's mother was recruiting anyone she could to join the search.
We had people all over Waukesha looking for her.
Christy had her daughter's cell phone. She scours it, searching for any clues. Instead, discovering something else.
Checked all of her text messages, trying to figure out the people that she called and contacted last. And I found basically her goodbye notes.
On that cell phone, this note, drafted by Anissa. She writes, "This is my final wish to those who care. Do not grieve my absence, but remember me for who I was. I love and cherish you all, and wouldn't do you harm."
I still had no idea. But as soon as I found that, I called the detective right away and showed him that information.
While at that hospital, Surgeon John Kellerman tells us he will never forget the wounds. He tells me about one of the stab wounds to Peyton's heart.
The knife cut through the tissue, but not the artery itself.
Exactly.
And had it not?
Had it not, she would have had a major heart attack from the amount of bleeding and probably died within a minute or 2.
But they would save her life as the hunt for the 2 other girls intensified. Nearly 5 hours after Peyton crawled out of the woods, her 2 friends are suddenly found on the side of Interstate 94, walking out of Waukesha.
They have found those 2 girls, I'm told around 12 years old.
A knife with a 5-inch blade was found in one of the girls' bags. Lieutenant Tom Moorman confronting them.
I asked her to show me her hands. I noticed there was some staining on her sweatshirt.
Morgan's parents raced to the police station, but they have not been told the severity of Peyton's injuries.
I remember talking on the way how we were going to punish Morgan for this. I mean, we just had no idea how serious it was.
Yeah, you can slide the chair over.
Anissa Wire's parents arrive at the police station too. They are told to wait.
I stood right dead center of that lobby in full view of 2 cameras waiting to see my daughter.
And listen to what their daughter Anissa says to the investigator.
Your parents know that you're here talking to me, okay? And I'm glad they're so glad that you're safe. We were scared for you guys.
Both girls in separate rooms, beginning to explain their plot to kill, referring to Peyton by her nickname, Bella.
Why do you think you're here today?
Because Anissa and I ran off after hurting Bella.
Morgan tells the detective the plan to kill Peyton had been in the works for months.
So you guys have been planning this a while?
Since December. She was my best friend since 4th grade.
Who was?
Peyton.
So why did you pick Peyton?
I didn't pick her.
Who picked her?
Whoever Anissa was talking about. She made it seem necessary.
Necessary. A word Morgan Geyser would use again and again with that detective, saying her devotion to that fictional character, Slenderman, drove her to do this.
There's this website called the Creepypasta Wiki. Okay. It's full of like horror stories, and there's one of them called Slenderman.
Now that you understand the history behind the little corner of the internet that is the creepypastas, let's talk a little bit more about the fandom. How it is both a positive and a negative. However, before we get into the fandom 100%, I need to give you some background information on several characters that were, and still are, well known throughout the fandom. I've already mentioned Slenderman, but I need to go into more detail about how he was viewed and molded within the fandom. Without a story or any form of media that showed any type of personality, Slenderman was developed into many stories, and is commonly depicted stalking and abducting people, mostly children. Outside of the creepypasta world, he is a pop culture icon, and within it, he's without a proper canon. In most stories, his face is white and featureless, but occasionally his face appears differently to anyone who sees it. He wears a dark suit and tie. Slenderman is often associated with the forest and or abandoned locations, and has the ability to teleport. Proximity to the Slenderman is often said to trigger a slender sickness. It's basically a rapid onset of paranoia, nightmares, and delusions accompanied by nosebleeds. He's also been known to take on proxies, which are humans that fall under his will and influence. Over the years, Slenderman has been unfortunately degraded into a joke. All seriousness and horror of the character washed away. Jeffrey Woods, commonly known as Jeff the Killer, is the protagonist of the creepypasta that shares his name. Jeff has extremely pale skin, burnt-off eyelids, and a ghoulish smile that he has carved onto his face. He has become one of the largest creepypasta icons on the internet. He even rivals Slenderman. He is a teenage boy that was once an average teen that deeply cared about his brother Lou. After a life-threatening attack that caused Jeff to catch on fire, Jeff went insane, twisting into a vengeful psychopath killer. Despite the character's popularity, the story that he's originated from is extremely criticized for being utter trash and poorly written. Coming from a Legend of Zelda creepypasta, Ben Drowned, a story about a young man that comes across a bootleg version of The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask. After strange happenings, he soon realizes it is haunted by the ghost of a boy named Ben who drowned. Ben is a sadistic entity that appears to look like Link but has blood dripping from his eyes. He has the ability to warp dreams and technology. The story of Ben Drowned has had an influence on the community, and it is one of the most famous creepypastas. Having originated from a photoshopped photo on 4chan, Eyeless Jack is a person in a black hoodie, wearing an expressionless blue mask. Black liquid, which can only assume to be blood, drips from their eye sockets. His origin, gender, and race are unknown, because, well, the author of the original story, Eyeless Jack, has never described any details about him. He is an infamous character that is successfully removes kidneys from victims when they sleep, Jack eats the kidneys he takes, and it is unknown if he consumes any other human organs. He's another example of a popular mainstream character. Not to be confused with Eyeless Jack, Laughing Jack is a sinister supernatural clown that acts as an imaginary friend to his victims. Jack is a monochromatic clown that once acted as a guardian angel. Once a joyful and colorful character, the clown turned twisted and dark when he was abandoned by his owner. He became a killer after his owner became a crazed serial killer, and now he hunts down lonely children and makes them his victims. Toby Rogers, nicknamed Ticci-Toby by cruel classmates due to his uncontrollable Tourette's, was born with several mental illnesses that made it difficult for him to fit in and make friends at school. He switched to being homeschooled at a young age. Toby's mental state only grew worse when he got into a car crash at 17 that killed his sister. Because of his sister's death, his father started to do drugs and drink, and it caused him to act out abusively towards his wife and Toby. After mentally cracking, Toby kills his father and sets the local neighborhood on fire before being sought out by Slenderman. Toby has shaggy brown hair, deep bags under his eyes, and wears clothing that covers much of his body. His personality is shown within his story, as he acts as an expressive protagonist that's bipolar, quite a contrast compared to many characters. Though not creepypastas, Masky Hoodie are characters from a web series called Marble Hornets, and they're often labeled as creepypasta characters. Their actual names are Tim and Brian. This pair acts as the main characters of the web series. Believed to be proxies of Slenderman, they actually are not, and have never been in contact with Slenderman. Tim has no memory of being Masky, a man that wears a black and white mask. It is possible he has personality disorder. Tim is a scared and caring man that only wants a normal life. Brian, which is Hoodie, also seems to want the same. His persona of Hoodie wears an orange hoodie that seems to have a sewed-on black mask. He also seems unaware of his situation and cannot control his change into Hoodie. Okay, I know that was a lot. However, these characters have drastically shaped the Creepypasta fandom, and, well, the fandom has drastically shaped them. The younger and typically cringy side of the fandom has humanized these characters and created a fandom image of these creatures. Slenderman was molded into a wise father figure to the other creepypasta characters that were smashed together into a universe that honestly mirrors the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Jeff is a edgy bad boy with a horrible temper and a knife collection. Ben is a cruel ghost with a vulgar mouth but a crippling fear of water. Laughing Jack is a crazed clown with a cackling laugh. And, well, Eyeless Jack is a mysterious fellow that keeps himself reserved. Toby is an upbeat but sarcastic young adult that doesn't fit in, even with killers. And then, Hoodie and Masky, they've been butchered by the fandom. That's all I have to say. I don't want to talk about it. I'm not saying that giving these horrors personality is necessarily a bad thing. However, it can go to the extreme. Stories that were once viewed as chilling horrors are suddenly romanticized by people who don't even like horror. So being the genius I am, I thought it would be a wonderful idea to show you some examples of some more cringy behavior in the fandom. So I have 4 different quizzes lined up, and I'm going to do them. Very exciting day. But before we get started, I just want to give you, well, a kind of a heads up, I suppose. If you want to go out and say something to the creators of these and witch hunt them, please don't. Who knows what age they were when they created these, how relevant it even still is compared to their future works of fan fiction, I guess. Also, if you're one of these people that have created these quizzes and you're now watching this video, I'm sorry, I'm going to try to have some constructive input, but otherwise I'm making this purely for comedy, and please take what I say with a grain of salt. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so this first one is called Christmas with the Pastas, parentheses, choose your boyfriend. Very exciting. You know, I didn't know in life that you could just choose things. You could just look at someone and be like, they're my boyfriend. But I mean, I guess in this situation it doesn't really matter, because all of your options are serial killers with a dark and twisted past. But whatever, so yeah, we get to celebrate our Christmas with some killers. My absolute favorite. Let's see what the author has to say. Hello, and welcome to Christmas with the Pastas. Yes, I know, it is nowhere near Christmas, but hey, let's look past that. This was suggested by Red Dragonfly. If you're playing this, then hi. How sweet. In this RP quiz, you'll be having Christmas with the CPs. I like how they said it like it's a boy band. The CPs are the next One Direction, baby. You get to choose who's your boyfriend. Nice! If you read the description, then you would notice I said Merry Christmas. You know, get it? Merry with an A? Wow, I wonder what it means. They said we'll see at the end. Wow, wild concept. I wonder if our CP boyfriend is going to propose to us. Or it's going to be something lame, I don't know. Oh boy, so I get all these options of what to say. Ugh, they're all so immature. Yaz, too excited. Squealing and, like, snorting candy is insane. Then that okay at the end is just immature, so sure. Oh boy, I love this layup. You walk inside. I say, hey ya boys. And they all have to say hi to me in their super unique ways. This just makes me hurt. Masky says ahoy. Like a pirate. Okay, yeah. They all say hi and Ben's like, hey, sit down, we're gonna play a game. And oh no, our first dramatic choice is who do we sit with? So I think this is where we like pick who's our sexy boy. And so the fandom has already cursed Toby, Masky, and Hoodie because for some reason they've made it to where Hoodie's absolutely obsessed with waffles, even though he doesn't even look at a waffle in his story. And then I don't even think Masky and Hoodie have anything to do with cheesecake. That's all their personalities have been degraded to. Cheesecake. Let's sit with the demented child that drowned. Sits next to Ben. Ben puts arm around you. You slightly blushes. Someone's touched starved today. Aw, how quaint. The boys playing in the snow. Okay. Ah, jeez, this is already bad. I can just see it. So I say, yo boys, what are we playing? And Jeff's like, I don't know, any ideas? Then I'm like, oh no, not spades, we know that went last time. Oh, and then they make some weird inside joke. The author inserts a note that's like, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go play my other quiz, Party at the Mansion. Aw, jeez, this is a sequel? I'm scared. Should I played the other one first? And actually die in the end? Which is a shame, but it's basically... They make groups, they come up with a dance routine, and then they're having Slenderman to judge. And then I say something I would never say. That sounds awesome! Then they always make like Slenderman sound really proper, and they make everyone else sound really stupid. And he's like, I was told I need to judge for something. And so everyone splits into groups. You join Ben, Toby, Laughing Jack. The other team is Masky, Hoodie, Eyeless Jack, and Jeff. Oh jeez. So, I get to pick the song. And all of these are songs you can't dance to. Okay, Discord. It's okay. It's a fan-made My Little Pony song, but it sounds professional enough. It's actually pretty good. It has dubstep elements, so you know what, we're just gonna pick that one. Whatever. Ew, disgusting. Get that away from me. Everyone liked my choice. Ah, jeez, so they don't even like describe how it went. Slenderman's like, very good, well put together for everyone. And then I'm like, so who won? So I guess he panics and he's like, it's a tie. And everyone's like, hee hee hee, yay! Because, you know, there's never any winners. It's just everyone's happy. So I guess I'm like extremely out of shape because I'm like, help me. Water, please. I go straight up sicko mode. And Slenderman's like, kiddos, calm down. I have to get the youngest one. Sally is a creepypasta character that's basically this little girl that was like abused and then killed. And she's some ghost. So good times. You give Sally her gift that you got her. Sally, tearing wrapping paper off. OMG, it's two bows. Haha, now you and your teddy bear can have matching bows. Okay, so... Ew, why did I get some furry thing? You got a furry clip on wolf tails and ears, not real ones. Well, yeah, I know. So, I basically get all this stuff that I don't like. You finish. Oh, jeez. So, I put on the furry gear. And then, oh no, there's mistletoe. It's like, who am I kissing? Imagine I straight up kiss someone who I haven't been talking to this entire night. Imagine if I just like kept switching everyone, like what result would they even get me? Well, I guess I have to kiss Ben because I already have been choosing him. Jeez. Well, that's it for the RP quiz. I hope you liked it. One last question. This won't affect your result. No crap. Will you comment, like, and follow? Well, I feel really forced into this. How about we put all three, so we make this person feel happy, because I just roasted them, and have been cringing this entire time because of their really bad quiz. So yeah, all three, there we go. I got Ben drowned. No, because I legit have been clicking him the entire time. You got the cruel demented boy that drowned. Let's go. I have a secret to give you. Wink, wink. I say, well, I guess it's you, so you, the audience, are also saying this? I don't know. Take this however you want. If you want to live your fantasies by celebrating Christmas with the creepypastas, then go on ahead. We're living the good life, kids. You, okay then. You and Ben walk outside to see a tree beautifully covered with lights. Are you okay? Ben doesn't hear you. Ben? What were you saying? Are you okay? Well, sorta, yeah, come with me. You don't see the other pastas looking in through the window. They know what's about to happen. Oh no. I hate this. It's kinda clever, but it's so stupid. Ben has a controller in his hand. He presses the big red button. Suddenly, the tree lights up in gold and spells out, "Will you be the Zelda to my Link?" Ben kneels down on one knee and opens a small box with a beautiful diamond ring in it. Ben, so, what do you say? Will you be my Zelda to my Link for the rest of our lives? You cries with a Y. Yes, of course, Ben. He puts the ring on your finger. Once he gets up, you immediately hug him tightly. You're not, I guess kissing is too PG-13. Once he gets up, you immediately hug him tightly. The other pastas start to cry as well. You are now engaged to the love of your life. I like how a bunch of serial killers who are so desensitized legit start crying, but go off, whatever. Wow, what a beautiful Christmas. It's not as if I totally saw that twist coming. Insane.
Oh snap sister, get it. Ha 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 damn dab in the hood, am I right? I am so relatable, yes. Swag sister, oh my wig got yeeted. What fresh and funky moves, you know, pretty lit. Got 'em, bro. The tea is spicy. Ha 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 envy.
Characters I listed and more started to be over-sexualized and shipped together. That's right, you heard me, shipped. The fandom went overboard, and soon creepypastas became stories about sexy emo guys with crappy backstories. Characters that are meant to be horrifying have become precious ooh baby boys that never do any wrong because murder is totally cute and quirky. Not only that, but extreme obsession grew and fans started to attack each other and threaten each other. Many talented story creators left the platform, and, well, the fandom has basically died. However, there is some hope. Crazy fangirls have left, and they've migrated to other infested fandoms, such as Undertale and Five Nights at Freddy's. The fandom, though, it's now a lot smaller like it originally started, and it's starting to return to its roots, actual horror. I was a part of the fandom during the end of the fangirl hype. I love horror, and it was what originally drew me towards more creepypastas and the fandom. I did dabble on the cringy side, but I kind of put that lightly. You know, the only reason I did was because younger me was fascinated by the strong fandom foundation. And I had never experienced that before. If I did consume, cringy fan fictions about characters, and I took those cringy little quizzes relating to them, I almost always knew that in the end, the characters were cold-hearted killers that were being oversimplified and degraded to cringy e-boys. However, I can't say the same about other people. I don't regret my time within the fandom. Though I did consume some cringy fanfictions, I can proudly say I never made a fool of myself. My time within the fandom exposed me to beautiful artwork, writing, and a sense of community. Though, years later, I still think about chilling stories that left an everlasting impact on me, and how it has shaped me as a writer and a consumer. Never underestimate the power of entertainment and communities, especially fandoms that typically aren't taken seriously, such as the Creepypasta Fandom.